Ready, take.
What's up, Saints?
I'm Hyatt.
And I'm Jacob.
And this is SFHS Today. In some historical news for you this week, new research is suggesting that dogs were man's best friend some 12,000 years ago. Due to some bones from a dog being unveiled in Alaska, scientists now believe indigenous peoples in the America shared relationships with dogs much longer ago than previously recorded. I do, however, think man's best friend is kind of a stretch. I'm fairly confident if someone broke into my house, my dog Tiny would help them rob me.
Hi, I got a question for you real quick.
Yeah, what's up?
You know this the book ban thing going on? It's all over Snapchat. I have no clue what's going on right now.
I'd love to give you the details, but I'm not the right guy to go to. Luckily though, Destiny, Aubrey, and Avery went to the district office and talked to the superintendent to get some more info.
St. Francis Area Schools has been in the news lately for a decision made by the school board to bypass a local committee to review challenged books in favor of a website called Booklooks that was funded by members of Moms for Liberty out of Florida. Fox 9 News covered the story early last week, and we spoke with the superintendent for more information.
Yeah, this has been an issue not just in St. Francis, but across the state and really across the country. There are stakeholders of the district who are concerned about some of the books that we have in our media center, mostly at the high school, probably some at the middle school, but it's mostly at the high school. And they're concerned about some of the content in the library books. So that's kind of set the stage, as far as why this is happening. The state of Minnesota also passed a law actually 2 years ago, and then they revised it this past year.
The district is still waiting for a response from the Minnesota Department of Education to see if this policy goes against the state omnibus bill, which states that books cannot be banned in Minnesota public schools.
And so it's been kind of a political issue now for many months. There were some school board members who recommended changing the kind of a template policy, and their recommendation was to use a company called Booklooks to make some decisions as far as what books should be removed from the library. There have been many heated discussions at the board level in terms of what criteria should be used to remove the books. And so I expressed my opinions during the board meeting because I think we should really look at the whole book whenever possible and not make decisions just on one, criterion. There were others who felt the same way, and then others who had a different opinion. It was a good discussion, and at the end of the day, the board decided to use a Booklooks in the policy. So if a book is formally challenged, then if there's a Booklooks rating of 3 to 5, then it's automatically removed from the media center.
Among books that could face censorship is Nobel Peace Prize winner Elie Wiesel's memoir Night, which recounts his experiences as a Holocaust survivor.
If it's a Booklooks rating of 1 or 2, or if Booklooks has not reviewed the book, then we follow our typical process. We have a committee that reads the book, looks at some other factors, and makes a recommendation to either keep the book in the library or to remove it. And then the stakeholders can further appeal that decision to me and then to the full school board.
Now let's send it back to Maine.
Thanks, guys.
And while the freshmen may not recognize the friendly face, Brad Rolfe came back to help around the school. Monica and Alyssa went out to talk to him to get the full story.
No, ma'am. You don't budge. I am.
So we're all dying to know, why are you back?
I asked myself the same question. I was happily retired at the end of last school year, retired for the second time. And a little over a month ago, Mr. Thompson called me and asked if I would like to come back as a lunch monitor.
What's one thing you missed about the school?
I miss the daily interaction with the kids. I like joking around with kids and talking to kids and helping them solve life problems if I can.
Are you planning on staying long?
I plan on finishing out the school year. Only working 2 hours a day, it's not too stressful. I arrive at a little before 11:30. I monitor the lunch lines, making sure kids aren't budging in line or throwing food or things like that. I help kids if they need to leave the lunchroom. I check on what they want to do, and I give them permission to leave. I help clean up the tables in between each lunch period. After that, my wife works in the kitchen here, so she enjoys working here. We'll see if I stay as long as she does.
Personally, I'm glad to have him back. You know, nothing grinds my gears more than when somebody cuts in front of me in the lunch line. But our old buddy Brad just does not let that slide.
No, not at all.
Not.
Those couple months we had without him, you know, they just didn't feel the same. He also made it back in time for one of my favorite SFHS traditions. Typically, before winter break, our food service staff, you know, they come together and they sing us some Christmas carols to try to get us Saints in the holiday spirit. Maddox, Tabby, Haley, and Abraham, along with Nuzette, went out and got the scoop on how the tradition started.
We started back in 2003, 2004, and it's just been a tradition. We keep going because when some ninth graders got into school, they had asked us near Christmas time that their older brother and sister had told them, oh, the lunch ladies sing Christmas carols. So we said, oh, all right, we'll do it again.
Yeah, they're the same songs every year.
Yeah.
So it's all one
Short,
kids know.
simple, 2 minutes.
What is it? Deck the Halls?
Deck
We do
the
that
Halls
one?
is one of them. Oh, and We Wish You a Merry Christmas is our last song.
So they're pretty basic.
yeah.
The kids really do enjoy it. We get applause afterwards, and they talk about it for a couple weeks. Even back from break, they have a good time with it.
Yeah, back from break, they'll come up and say thank you for singing the Christmas carols.
Some of the kids come and they'll play their instruments from band and participate with us. And
Yeah, we had one year a kid with a ukulele. Ukulele?
ukulele.
Ukulele.
You were close.
Play it while we had sang.
Mm-hmm. The kids is the reason it stays, because they ask for it.
Yeah, they asked
They're
for
the
it.
ones. We try to back out,
Mm-hmm.
but they're like, no, we really want you to do it. So we do.
Thanks, guys.
And with the winter season fully underway, Kennedy, Grady, Logan, and Tyler went out and brought you all you need to know on how to prep your car.
Hey Saints,
It's getting cold.
snow's falling. This week we're going to teach you guys how to prepare your vehicle for the winter weather.
In this cold winter weather, you're always going to make sure you have a nice winter jacket, a nice warm pair of gloves, and a nice warm hat that I don't have.
During the winter season, you need to make sure you have a snow and ice scraper to make sure you have full visibility out of your car. The cold weather can drain your car battery, and it's a good idea to have a jumper pack or jumper cables in your vehicle.
Cold temperatures will lower tire pressure. You will need to add air into your tires for the winter season.
Sandbags are a good option to weigh down your vehicle, or if you find yourself in a slippery situation. You can pick them up at the hardware store in St. Francis. Remember, stay safe, drive safe, and we'll see you next week. Now back to May.
Thanks, guys.
And to stay on the topic of cars, for this week's trivia, I'm going to ask you, after about how many miles is it recommended that you get an oil change?
Is it A, 2 to 5,000, B, 10 to 12,000, C, 5 to 7,000, or D, 20 to 22,000?
Drum roll, please. The answer is C. It is recommended that you change oil every 5 to 7,000 miles in order to maximize gas mileage and improve the engine's longevity and quality. But with that,
We'll send it over to sports.
What's poppin', Saints? I'm Will.
And I'm Mike.
And this is Sports.
In national sports news, with the NFL regular season coming to an end, the playoffs will soon be underway.
One of the teams that has a good chance to make the playoffs are the Washington Commanders. With the second overall pick in last year's draft, rookie Jaden Daniels is leading the team to a very possible playoff berth for the very first time in nearly 5 years.
I'm sorry to change the subject, Mike, but did you see Connor Peterson's dunk last Tuesday?
Yeah, it was crazy. You know, speaking of the basketball team, both boys and girls played last Friday. The boys lost a close game with a score of 77-92, and the girls won and secured the conference trophy with a score of 53-47. And they have a doubleheader in Zimmerman tonight. Good luck to both teams.
And in this week's trivia, since the topic is basketball, we ask you, who is the tallest current NBA player?
Is it A. Bobo, B. Zach Edey, C. Connor Peterson, or D. Jay Huff?
Drumroll please. It's B. Zach Edey. Born in Toronto, Canada, Edey stands 7 foot 4 inches tall and just got drafted 9th overall by the Memphis Grizzlies.
And one more thing before you go, Saints. Tonight, the theater program is hosting a benefit at Sheepskate where you can skate and enjoy some fun for only $7.75 from 5 to 7:30. All the proceeds will be donated to the theater program.
And with that, we'll send it back to Maine.
Thanks, boys.
And with the Spotify raps coming out, Caden, Daniel, Owen, and Gavin went out to bring you this week's RQT.
It's the random question thing. Ding.
I'm Belsky.
I'm KDX.
Spotify rap just came out. We're gonna go inside and interview people about what their favorite song was.
My top artist is Drake. Number one song is Virginia Beach and 50,000 Minutes.
My top was Drake. My most played song was The Resistance, and I had 117,000 minutes.
My favorite artist right now is Bryson Tiller in my Spotify rap, and Run Me Dry is my favorite song.
My top artist is 21 Savage, and my top song is Don't by Bryson Tiller.
My top artist is Sexy Red, and my top song is Home by.
My top artist was Zach Bryan. My top song was Three-Headed Goat by Lil Durk, and then I had 40,300 minutes on Apple Music.
My top artist was Zach Bryan. My top song was I'm the Worst by Trio, and I had 32,677 minutes.
My top artist was Trio. My top song was The In Between, and I had 60,000.
My top artist was Johnny Cash. My top song is I Ain't Living Long Like This by Waylon Jennings, and my minutes listened is 80,000.
Your top artist?
Hank Williams Jr. David by Cody Jinks.
How many minutes do you have?
38,000.
My top artist is Zach. My top song is Shake the Frost.
How many minutes do you have listening to Spotify?
108,937 minutes.
Those are some pretty good answers. Oh, what's your favorite song and artist?
My favorite song was Cabo and Co Wetzel. What's yours, KDX?
Mine was Be Quiet and Drive Far Away by Deftones. Now back to the studio.
One last thing before we go, though, Saints. We here at Media have a long-standing tradition where we sing a 12 Days of Christmas parody on the last show before winter break. So without further ado, enjoy the 12 Days of Saints Miss.
On the 12th day of Saints Miss, St. Francis gave to me 12 seniors slipping, 11 juniors jumping, 10 sophomores sobbing, 9 freshmen freezing, 8 actors acting, 7 teachers talking, 6 dancers dancing, 5 singers singing, 4 anchors anchoring, 3 welders welding, 2 hoopers hooping, and Logan in a Santa suit.
Ho, ho, ho.
Love to see it.
Well, with that, we won't see you next week. Have a good break, Saints.